because we have an information war going on now, and it may be that the combined forces of the galactic center black hole and its operations on our genome of a positive nature, together with upper dimensional extraterrestrial civilizations, which are acting on our behalf, that they are actually creating a positive future for us, such that we will be moving out of the permanent war economy into a sustainable economy, and that any plans that may have existed, which we can't totally prove, but which writers such as Professor David Jacobs of the University of Pennsylvania and Bud Hopkins and others write about in terms of the reptilian gray plans, that those will be defeated and will not be able to become actual realities. So we're at a very kind of important watershed in humanity in these years, whereby we have the ability, by tuning into the galactic center, and there's research by a researcher named Spottiswoode, who lives in Palo Alto, California, who she has shown that our individual psychic capacity increases by 400% at the time each day when we're most aligned with the galactic center. So these are all of the various factors in this very rich, complex dynamic that we're involved in, where we're actually co-creating a positive future with the galaxy itself and with upper dimensional extraterrestrials who are acting as our strategic allies.
It's really, really interesting. And, you know, as you speak here, I'm thinking a little bit about, to me, it sounds like it's definitely a tug of war, I think they call it, to going on here then. And the human race is the central point of this, that it seems to be that one side wants to control us for their agenda, so to speak. They want to try to change us and maybe even colonize the planet or change it in some way. And on the other hand, there seems to be a natural kind of evolution, if you will, then going on in regards to what the cosmos is emanating in regards to, to radiation and frequency. Is that right?
Yes, and that's why that forms the basis for objectively realizing and objectively participating in a positive human future. Even though it's right in the midst of all of the breakdown, which is just a transitory phenomenon from the old paradigm to a new universe-based paradigm.
Really interesting. And maybe you guys can briefly tell us about what do you think the Greys are again? Then do you think that they are? I've heard theories that they are, a human cloned kind of biological robot, if you will, or then do you think it's more true that they are a similar designed race of beings, but by someone else, not from this planet? What do you think, Alfred?
I think that both of those statements may be true. Dr. Greer talks about the Greys as being a programmed life form created by the permanent war economy on the secret side of the terrestrial forces. These are the small Greys. I believe that there's research which may show that the small Greys are both programmed life forms and that the small grays may also be created by some branch of the extraterrestrials, possibly a negative branch of the reptilians. But I don't believe that there's a definitive answer at this stage. I believe that abduction research needs to be taken much more seriously,
yeah,
and needs to be put out in public, because in recent public opinion polls, the Roper poll of 2002, 2% of the American population thought that they had been abducted. That's 6 million people.
Really? 6 million, huh? So we have definitely an interesting scenario, so to speak, going on here. Something is happening on this planet. That's for sure. And if we talk about weaponization of space again, like the Star Wars program, for instance, and ask what the reason for that might be, and how do you see that plays into this other kind of agenda of I at least see that there's dark forces on this Earth right now trying to combat and prevent this kind of natural evolution and progress that you're talking about. And do you at all tie in this idea of weaponization of space into that, or do you think that that's an ulterior motive here?
Yes. If your listeners go to peaceinspace.com or peaceinspace.org, they will see the newest version of the Space Preservation Treaty. And the Space Preservation Treaty is very comprehensive. And one of its main principal focuses is on banning space-based weapons of mass destruction such as HARP. And HARP involves weaponizing a natural system of the Earth, namely the ionosphere, which is that portion of the upper atmosphere which is very close to space. It can be considered part of space. And the weaponized ionosphere is the space-based component of HARP. The atmosphere-based component are the chemtrails, which magnify the effects of HARP on going down to the planet, and is also a binary weapon system. For example, there was testimony from a Project Camelot witness that one of the components in chemtrails now was a precursor to the H1N1 virus.
That's right.
Which would be activated by the vaccinations. So that chemtrails are a delivery system for weapons. And the ground-based component of HARP are disguised as research facilities that are just researching the upper atmosphere. And so HARP can be used as a mass mind control weapon on Earth. It can be used for tectonic warfare, earthquake warfare on Earth. It can be used for weather warfare on Earth. It can also be used and directed as kinetic, electromagnetic warfare against ethical extraterrestrial craft.
Really? No.
So it has all of these multiple uses, and is a principal weapon system. It's an invisible weapon system because the mainstream media will not report this, and the mainstream media will not report chemtrails, nor will any legislation on Earth or any parliament or Congress deal with chemtrails, or the legislators that propose that will lose their positions or be discredited, as has happened. So there are a variety of exotic space-based weapons and other weapons that the secret government, the breakaway civilization, has to carry out warfare with